Hello everyone. Today we are here to talk about 100 Thieves re-entry into Counter-Strike with our partner Roobet. And with me I have Sean Gares and Graham Pitt, of the first two hires for the 100 Thieves Roobet CS2 squad.
Let's go. Back in CS, I'm stoked.
I'm excited to get started, yeah.
Yeah, welcome to LA, gentlemen. Graham, first time here?
Not my first time here. No, I've been to LA a few times. First time at the 100 Thieves compound there.
How do you like it?
That's really nice. I've been here like 2 days now and meeting everyone. It's been really great. The facilities here are fantastic. Like I'm really excited to get started.
Nice, nice. Sean, not your first time here?
No, definitely not my first time here. I've been here for a little bit, been busy, but yeah, I love it here. It's amazing. Compound's great.
Great. Let's start off and talk about how all this came together. First things first, we actually started talking to Roobet about 4 or 5 months ago. They came in super eager to get into Counter-Strike, had heard through the grapevine that we were too. And the conversations were honestly quite easy. For those who don't know, the guys behind Roobet are big Counter-Strike guys themselves. The whole founding team used to play Counter-Strike together on Discord, and then, you know, things came to be, and now they have Roobet.
Dude, the crazy thing is I didn't even know, but I met like half of their squad in like 2016.
Yeah.
In Vegas, yeah. So like they were into CS when I was a pro player back then, and I happened to run into them, and obviously Roobet wasn't created back then. And then fast forward to today, and when they told me that, I was like, small world, this is insane.
Yeah. Well, so from our side, we've been wanting to re-enter Counter-Strike ever since we left the last time back in 2020. Back then, COVID was just in the way of how we were structured. You know, we wanted a team that was based in America, that we could do content around Los Angeles. Our roster was predominantly Australian. They had a lot of wishes around visiting family, sure enough, in the middle of a pandemic. And the tournament circuit was largely in Europe, so the visas and everything, it just became a very, very logistical nightmare for us. So we've been sort of biding our time, trying to figure out how to re-enter Counter-Strike in the best way possible. One thing that I always tell people is Matt is nothing if not hungry for championships. So it's also important for us that we entered Counter-Strike in a way that actually did it the right way, and where we got to compete at the majors and hopefully win championships. And so we've been flirting with the idea of it for a few years now. So when Roobet came along, we started talking to them about it, and I made it very clear very early on that this has to be a pretty large endeavor of ours. It's a big project, it takes a lot of resources, it takes a lot of time and a lot of good people behind it. Not just the players and coaches, but also the likes of the two of you. And they were immediately bought into that idea. That was actually how they wanted to go about it. It wasn't good enough for them to just, be a top 50, top 40, top 30 team, or just be in Counter-Strike. What they wanted to do was be at the majors and hopefully go deep or even win majors. So we're very aligned on what the long-term strategy should be. So the conversations just flowed very effortlessly in how to achieve that. And yeah, we quickly came to realize that this was a great partnership. So Sean, you were the first one we started talking to. Tell me about how that was and how that came to be.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you remember, but so Joseph and you reached out to me asking me if I was interested in the opportunity, and I just fell back in love with CS like massively. I just got done co-streaming the Blast Austin Major into Fisher Playground, into Cologne, and I was grinding Premier. Like I was almost at 30K ELO, just slaving away like I was a pro player, which obviously not. Used to be, but I was having a lot of fun in the game. So when you guys reached out, I was so stoked, and you guys asked for a call to talk about the opportunity. And I was so excited, I just showed up. You remember that?
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
in the office upstairs, and I just came in through the back door, and you guys thought I would be on this Google Meet call. And yeah, we kicked it off. We went down into the COD room. We had a meeting in person, and the rest is history. You know, we quickly decided like we wanted to bring in Graham because his expertise is just ridiculously powerful in the scene right now, given how complex the VRS system is and his intricacy and network within the scene itself, man, I just think we're building something really cool right now, and I'm really excited.
So Sean, you'll be the general manager, and Graham, you'll be the head of operations.
Correct.
And actually situated in Europe for the most time, whereas Sean and I will be in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Walk me through how you expect that to pan out.
I think it's going to work out well. Like it's basically the same kind of role that I've had in the last 4 years with Complexity, where they were based in Dallas and I was based in Europe, and it works well as kind of a link between the team and the headquarters, and sort of a go between, without having to sort of worry about like time zones and things like that. Like I can be a lot more flexible than the players, so it provides them a better link towards the HQ. It provides the HQ a better sort of link towards the players, and yeah, I think it's going to work out really well.
And the reason for that being that we have all intentions of having the team based out of Europe.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's one of the pain points that you experienced before, as you said, where the ecosystem is very heavily Europe centric, and I think having the team in Europe, having me in Europe, will be a big positive for us.
Yeah, I also think in terms of just being able to be competitive, there's just a larger upside of being in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, that's why when I was a player, we were just always boot camp in Europe. People still boot camp in Europe. It's because that's where the best practice is. You want to be where the best practice is. And even though it's going to be the harder region with the most top teams, you have the highest chance of elevating up to the upper echelon of the scene, which is what we're going for. We want to be the best. So yeah, that's where we want to be.
100%.
So taking a step back, just for the uninitiated, I know you guys very well, I know your careers very well, but Sean, talk me through what you've been doing for the past 20 years.
20 years. So I started as a pro CS player, and when I was in Cloud9, I was actually getting my master's, and I called my parents from Europe at a tournament, and I told them I was dropping out. And this is when, like, you know, monies first started coming to the scene. I was a 1.6 player before that. They were obviously not too happy about that call, but the rest is history, you know. My whole life is revolved around games, and from being a pro player in CS for so long, helping start the CSPPA, being broadcast talent, working at PopDog, which is the parent company of Loaded back in the day, and then moving over to Valorant as like a content creator, seeing that side of the space. And I feel like when I coached for you guys, I learned so much about player dynamics in a team and emotional maturity. And being a father now that I'm a boomer, I have 2 kids now.
We're all fathers now.
Yeah, I just feel like I want to stay as close as possible to the competition, and I want to provide as much value as possible. And I feel like this is such a good position for me to do that, because there was so much internal struggle I had with the traveling with the team as a head coach and being in Dallas all the time. This is different. We can kind of, you know, work with the players, build out the roster, set the culture of the team, and yeah, we get to win with them from the outside. It's like a different role for me, but it's equally as rewarding at this stage of my life. So I'm really excited about it.
Great. And Graham?
Yeah.
Also a long tenured history in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I've been working with Counter-Strike since 2006, I think, technically. Initially, I was on the kind of the tournament operations side of things. So I worked with Blast. I was one of the first employees there. And previously to that, I was with ESL. And then I sort of made a transition while I was at Blast with, we obviously also owned Astralis at the same time. So I was transitioning, sort of working behind the scenes on Astralis as well. And that kind of gave me the bug to keep working in team operations. And yeah, I sort of went from there. I spent a year at North, and then I spent the last 4 years with Complexity as the general manager at Counter-Strike. So it's, yeah, kind of got the both sides of the coin when it comes to like attending tournaments and things like that. Which, yeah, as everyone knows, I'm quite deep into like the rule books and the VRS and things like that, which I think is a big benefit for, especially for the project we're going to be building.
Yeah, that actually played a big part in why we thought of you immediately. It was just like, no one seems more knowledgeable in regards to the Counter-Strike space than yourself.
Yeah.
And so with what we're doing and how we're building out the roster, and as of writing, we still don't have a roster.
Yeah.
So in terms of building the roster, do you have a preference in how we build it up, whether it's piece by piece, or we get a core and put some pieces behind it, or absorb a whole lineup? I mean, I have a lot of personal perspectives on these things, but it's you guys in charge of the program. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm actually curious what Graham's thoughts are, but I guess I'll lead. We've talked about it a lot privately ahead of time, but I want you to say it, and I'm curious what you're going to say. But we could go a couple options. We've looked at all these cores that are in the top, say 30 teams in the world right now, and there's a lot of important factors, right? Does the core speak English? Does it have the right pieces? Will the right culture be formed off rip? Is this even a viable option for us money-wise? Some cores we just can't buy. So there's a lot of moving parts. And then the other thing is, do we even want the core? We could build from scratch and have our own thing, right? Get top free agent talent. And this is something Roobet's even interested in from talking to them. So they're willing to wait with us and grind up through the ranks. And that's another reason why Graham is so vital, is if we go that route, Graham can basically pick apart the calendar and get us in the perfect tournaments to get us into the top 20 if we do a build from scratch type of method. So I think right now we're honestly open to it all. We're really surveying everything possible and sending out as many feelers as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, I want to make sure we get the best players that suit us the most, if that's possible, by buying out a core. Where, like, the one thing I don't want to do is buy a core and then be like, okay, but we need to replace these 2 players within the first 6 months or something. Because, like, I don't want to buy a core just for their points, but not for their players. Like, as long as the players we see like a long-term future with, then it makes sense. But if not, like, I think the market is pretty good to go and find like individual players who will be like interested in like an exciting project where they get to work with us and the resources we have provided by Roobet, obviously, and then build up and work from there. I don't think it's impossible to achieve what you want to achieve if you give yourself like 6 months. Like, a good example would be like what NIP did this year, where they said like, hey, we're going to take a step back and it's going to take us 6 months to build, but we're going to get back to where we want to be. And they're qualified for the major this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's more than possible, and they arguably didn't do it the most efficient way. And I think that we will have the capabilities to do it more efficiently, but ultimately we still have to win. And then that requires getting the best players that we can get, and players that we believe in and that we want to work with long term.
Yeah, this might sound obvious, but if the right core at the right price comes along, that has the right identity and the right pieces that we can build on for the long term, obviously that'd be sort of a shortcut to achieving what we want to do. But the sexiness of building something from the ground up and taking it piece by piece is definitely something that I find to be incredibly attractive and a fun journey to go on as well.
I do have a question, because the viewers are probably wondering, Graham, if we do the build from scratch method, will we be in tier 2 online jail in Counter-Strike?
No, I don't think we'll be in tier 2 online jail. I think
that there will be probably a necessity to play some tier 2 online Counter-Strike. Certain aspects of the VRS, like for example, the prize money aspect, can be earned through that more easily than through like these open LAN events. And we will need some of that. Now, we will need to balance the way we earn the points, but I don't think we'll be stuck in jail, as in like playing 5 different online tournaments each month, like stuck it like that. I think we'll be able to balance it where we sort of have like 1 or 2 online tournaments that we like focus on. And then we try and hit the open LAN events, try and qualify for some big events as well.
He eases all my anxiety. Look at that. He's like the VRS master, dude. Watch this. Graham, what does PGL's team agreement say in section 3, part B? I'm kidding. That would be insane.
That would be insane. Like that's like Mike Ross from Suits. Like that's like that kind of stuff. Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the partnership with Roobet now. We've announced that we're re-entering Counter-Strike alongside them, and we got you two for the staff top down. What is the philosophy we're thinking of when we're looking at players?
That's a great question. What I've learned over these years about team building, and this isn't what I started as a player because there wasn't coaches, but I fully believe in top-down builds where I think the IGL and head coach need to come first. Because that is the most important relationship day in, day out, as far as setting the practice schedule, setting the tone of practice, setting the tone of the match days, and keeping everyone accountable on the team. So that relationship is very important. And I think when you build a team, those two absolutely need to come first. And so there's a lot of people that might just want all the star players and then the coach comes in last. I don't really believe in that method, because then the coach doesn't have control and they don't have the right power control over the players. And I think that's very important, 5 months down the road on a Thursday, 4 hours into practice. It might not be a factor off the bat, but down the road, that's where problems happen. So I look to avoid that in the building phase, and that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I agree. I think setting also the team culture, especially, yes, like those two players are going to be sort of the leadership group within the team. Obviously, they have you and I to rely on as well, and we'll be heavily involved. But I think like within the team, they need to have players or people to look to, and I think it's going to be from the coach, from the IGL. So I think it's really important that we sort of build around those two pieces first, and then we can flesh out the rest of the roster, as we see fit.
When we look at other titles that we've been in, 100 Thieves, Valorant, you know it best, where we created a roster with very young talent after having had a long tenure of very experienced Counter-Strike guys. What is the ideal composition, the dream mixture of age and player profiles?
So, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't think there's a correct answer here. I don't think there's like a black and white answer. I think if you have like a super older player, I think you need the younger generation in there. And so you can't just have like one old player and 4 young players. I feel like the culture of the team is going to be weird. And even though they'll respect the older player, like the vibe out of prac hours isn't going to be there. And so you're probably bridging the gap in the middle is important, right? Like having people in the middle of that age range, or you could just stay all young. I think going all old is a huge problem. And I would never do that on a build. Like just have a bunch of Nepo old guy hires. I'm not about that. I truly do believe in the next generation of esports talent. Although I think there's immense value in the experience of some of the older players, especially in a game like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, for sure. I think you can get to a certain level with young kids, but I think like you still need at least like one kind of experienced veteran. I would like 2. And then like even like having someone sort of in the middle. I think that the young players, they bring in a lot of value in terms of, they're typically very mechanically good, but they need that guidance and leadership from older experienced players. And I think that sometimes the older experienced players need a bit of like drive given to them from these young kids who are just grinding and grind the SAL. So I think it's having the mixture of like the older guys teaching the younger guys while the younger guys are pushing the older guys to like keep working, I think is a really good balance that needs to be struck, I think.
Graham, I know you've been telling me how excited you are working with Sean. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, so just for context, I spent the last 4 years as the GM of Complexity, and I was, in charge of everything. And I'm my own worst critic in some ways. Like there are certain things that I'm not very good at, and I feel like Sean is the perfect kind of guy to fill in on all the issues that I struggle with.
I'm gonna hide.
Yeah.
And I feel like the two of us together are going to be a really good team, because I think we complement each other's skill sets really, really well. Like he has the whole, the ex-player, ex-coach, like he understands the team environment way better than I ever could, because I was never a pro player. And then I've got like the operational side of things, the administration, like that kind of stuff, the nerdy stuff. So like
insane network, dude. You have an insane network.
So I think the two of us like complement each other really well in terms of how we're going to work together, and we've had a long existing relationship, like not friendship, but like we've known each other for a long time. I think we've always gotten along really well. I think we always had like a good mutual respect for each other. So it's like really cool to finally work together and to build this project.
When you were the tournament admin.
I was never.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was never that bad.
No, you were great actually when you were a tournament. You treated us so well.
Bit of a bromance going on over here.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean we've been talking a lot these days. I mean, the second Graham puts his kids down, I'm the first person he talks to.
That's actually true. My wife is getting a bit jealous. I've had a few late evenings, obviously trying to get onboarded here. There's a 9-hour time zone difference. So yeah, as soon as my kids go to sleep, I'm usually jumping into a 2-hour meeting with Sean. Just
All your pillow time goes to Sean.
pretty much. Yeah, I'm going to bed at like 1 a.m., waking up at 6, doing my day, and then spending my evenings with Sean every week. But yeah, hopefully that'll begin to die down once the roster's a little more settled. But yeah, certainly my wife's been getting a bit jealous recently.
What should people be expecting next from us? What is there's this video. What happens next?
That's a good question. What can we say?
Hopefully we're going to have some news about the roster. Like honestly, but yeah, that's alluded to. Sean and I have been working really hard on figuring out who are these coaches, who these IGLs are that we want to work with. So I think hopefully the next announcement should be something on the coaching and the playing side. We
got a lot of unveilings to come.
Yes.
A lot of it is pretty daunting, but also super exciting because we don't even know.
Yeah.
All we know is there has to be a head coach. There has to be 5 players. There's an unveiling of our European location.
Yeah.
And hopefully all of that happens in the next month or 2.
Yeah. And there are options, by the way. It's not like, oh, this could happen. It's like, no, there's actually legitimate options on the table right now. And we have a lot of choices to make. Yeah. So it is very exciting.
Yeah. Spoil for choice is one way to put it. I think the market's pretty good in those ways. Yeah. For what we're trying to build. I think there's a lot of interest in what we're trying to build. Like, agencies and everything have all been reaching out as soon as the sort of news began to trickle through that there was something happening, and everyone's interested to be a part of the project. So yeah, I think it's more about us finding the right fit rather than us searching for the right fit. It's more just a decision on our part on who we want to take the risk on, so to speak. Well, certainly it won't be a risk, of course.
Yeah. Minimize the risk. That's the play.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'll let you guys get back to work. Lots to do. If there are questions that the people at home would like to have answered, I would encourage all of them to put the questions in the comments below. And hopefully we'll get to sit down and chat through the season to come.
Sure we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting time, and building up the team is going to be really fun. I'm excited to see what the community thinks about it all. And I think most importantly, I just want to thank Roobet again for allowing us to even do this. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks to them. Like the conversations and the experience I've had with them so far has been really positive, and they're very supportive of us. And yeah, thanks to them, we're here and we're able to build this. And yeah, I mean, lots of hard days to come in the next few weeks to round out this roster and get ourselves ready to compete as soon as possible. But get Gares and Graham beat when feasible. And yeah, I'm excited to be on this project and to build it with you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.